What does spending 9 months in space do to the human body? Well, spending time in space and having an interesting view of the planet Earth is an experience many of us dream of. However, the human body evolved to function in the gravity of the Earth, so time in the weightlessness of space can take years from which to fully recover. Astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore are back on the Earth after their 8-day mission aboard the International Space Station. Unexpectedly became a 9-month enforced stay. Now their recovery begins. Space is by far the most extreme environmental conditions that humans have ever encountered, and we've just got evolved to handle the extreme conditions. Professor Damian Bailey, who studies human physiology at the University of South Wales, says, "Entering space changes the human body, and initially that feels awesome. It feels like a holiday," astronaut Tim Peake, who went to the International Space Station in the year 2015, says, "Your heart is having an easy time. Your muscles and bones are having an easy time. You are floating around the space station in this wonderful zero-gravity environment. Imagine spending weeks lounging around the bed and never having to get up. This is actually one technique scientists use to investigate the impact of zero gravity, and you start to get the picture." But when it comes to muscle, it is a case of use or lose it. Even the simple act of standing still uses muscles throughout the body to hold you upright, and that is not happening in the microgravity on board the International Space Station. Muscle strength takes on a different meaning when everything is practically weightless. A long stay aboard the International Space Station may lead to a case referred to as the accelerated aging. The heart and your blood vessels also have an easier time, as they no longer have to pump blood against gravity, and they start to weaken. And the bones become weaker and more brittle. There should be a balance between the cells breaking down old bone and those making new. But that balance is disrupted without the feedback and resistance of working against gravity. Every month, about 1% of their bone and muscles are aging to wither away. It's accelerated aging, Professor Bailey says. And this becomes apparent on the return to Earth. The video was shared showing the astronauts needing support to get their bodies out of the capsule and onto a stretcher. All of this is the reason why astronauts go up to space in tip-top physical condition. Then, their daily routine involves 2 hours of exercise, a combination of treadmill, cycling machine, and weights to maintain as much muscle and bone health as possible. And now, Suni and Butch will start an intense exercise training program to regain their lost function. It will probably take them a few months to build up their muscle mass. Dr. Helen Sharman, who was the first Briton in space, says, "Bone mass could take a couple of years until it recovers, but even then, there are subtle changes in the type of bone that we do rebuild after returning to Earth that may never return to completely normal. But that is just muscle and bone. Space changes the whole body. Even the types of wood bacteria living in us, the microbiome, are altered. The fluids in the body also shift in microgravity. Instead of being pulled down towards the legs as on the earth, fluid drifts upwards to the chest and to the face. A puffy face is one of the first noticeable changes in the body, but this can also lead to swelling in the brain and changes in the eye, including to the optic nerve, the retina, and even the shape of the eye. And this spaceflight-associated neuroocular syndrome can lead to blurred vision and potentially an irreversible damage. Microgravity also distorts the vestibular system, which is how you balance and sense which way is up. In space, there is no up, down, or sideways. It can be disorienting when you go up and again when you return to the earth. Tim Peake says, that initial phase of stopping feeling dizzy or regaining your balance and having strength to walk around normally, that's just 2 or 3 days. Those first 2 or 3 days back on the earth can be very punishing.